Charlie here. Welcome back to Disruptor School, where we do things a little bit differently. Today, I'm super proud to once again have partnered with Meta to bring you information from the inside. Now, the important thing for you to know here is that creative does the targeting. That's not really up for debate. So we need to focus on creative diversity. And this doesn't just mean launch 1,000 ads and hope for the best. No, there's a real step-by-step strategy that you can do for $0 today to dramatically improve your ads, scale your account, and grow your business with confidence. So Shiv and I are gonna lay out the step-by-step process that you can follow to see that success. And for those playing along in the home game, Shiv is not just some faceless Facebook rep. No, she's got a long history at agencies and brands and now in Meta. This is what the best brands in the world are doing. So with that being said, let's get to it. This is gonna be fun. As a representative of Meta, tell me what you think about creative diversity. Like, how are you thinking about it? Like, what is creative diversity when it comes to ads?
Yeah, well, I'm always thinking about creative diversity and I'm really passionate about it. I think it's something that should be table stakes, cornerstone of any meta strategy. And when I try to describe creative diversity, I always come back to talking about my mom. So, my mom and I, we have very similar taste. If given the opportunity, we would always be buying the same things, but we're motivated very differently. So, I am all about instant gratification. I want to buy something really quickly. I want to know I can return it. And I also love a story. So I'm always engaging with video content about a brand and where they come from and why they're building what they're building. My mom doesn't care about any of that stuff. She really doesn't. She just cares about quality. So she wants to know if a product's well reviewed, if it's been featured in a publication, and she really only engages with static assets, photos, carousels. So while we're both in market for the same stuff, we don't often buy the same stuff because we don't often see the same stuff. And that's why creative diversity is so important. Our machine learning is really smart. It's really sophisticated. It knows to meet the right people at the right time with the right concept. But machine learning is only ever as smart as the inputs that you give it. So if advertisers and brands aren't building assets that will appeal to all different types of people, people like me, people like my mom, we're not seeing those products and we're not buying them. And it's so important to create differentiated ads because otherwise you're leaving consumers and revenue on the table. No one wants to do that.
Yeah, I love that. Nobody wants to leave money on the table, right? And I think that makes such a good point. Like, it's funny. I think that brands miss out, like you were saying, when they focus on only one type. And it's also not just format. It's not, I don't think, just video versus static images. I think part of creative diversity is also different hooks, different angles, different touch points, right? Are we hitting on features and benefits? Are we hitting on testimonials? Are we hitting on UGC content? Am I just demonstrating how the product works or just showing you the price? I think all of those things can appeal to different people for different reasons and often to the same person at different times based on where they are in their journey. And I think one of the things that makes Meta so strong is being able to pair the right content to the right person at the right time, even if that doesn't mean they're going to buy on that impression. Because, nobody buys on the first touch.
Yeah, 100%. There needs to be different types of assets, even if it is the same person based on where they are in their purchase journey. That's a huge part of it as well. Some people need to hear a story before they're ready to pick up the credit card.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So before we get too far down the rabbit hole here, can we take a moment and just sort of define creative diversity and how we should be thinking about it?
Yeah, so creative diversity is kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's creating multiple diverse assets so that you can expand your audience and reach all of your potential audience. But what that actually means is what diverse assets really means is video, static, carousel for sure, definitely the asset type. But beyond that, it's also talking about various value propositions, what motivates different types of customers, different concepts. Is it a hi-fi asset? Is it a creator asset? Is it a get ready with me asset? Or is it is it breaking down product benefits? It's a wide range, and that's why can be a hard concept to understand because it means so much, but it's really diversifying all different pieces of an asset from the hook to the call to action to the actual way it's being filmed.
Yeah, I love that because I think it can also be really confusing. Sometimes folks, I think, just think it's video versus image. Maybe I'm just trying to earn somebody's attention to maybe hit them with an ad later. Like having this cohesive portfolio of assets that Meta can use on our behalf really leans into the machine learning to give the user the best experience and the advertiser the best result. And I think that's one of the reasons that I love Meta platforms versus other options where we're just bidding on words.
Agreed. I like them too. But I agree. I think it's when it comes to creative diversification, when in doubt, think about the human element. Think about the actual humans behind the phones that are making decisions and the different types of humans making decisions. And that's going to help you route yourself into a plan to make a lot of different types of creative for a lot of different types of people.
I think that's so important. So many people forget that there are real people on the other side of that ads manager dashboard. It's shocking how many times we forget. These are just real people spending real money, making real decisions. I think that's great. So why does creative diversity really matter? From Meta's perspective, why is it important for us to really be focusing on touching these different types of assets and different concepts of assets more than just, well, I can reach different people?
Yeah, I think it all comes back to this idea that creative is the new targeting, right? We're in a world where we're leaning on machine learning to do a lot of the legwork that we used to do back in the day. I was a media buyer. I remember pulling every lever under the sun to try to hit the right audience. Now we have the benefit of machine learning doing that for us, but creative is the new targeting, and creative is the way that we can not only just reach new audiences, but drive efficiencies within our existing target demographic. So it's hugely important. I mean, the advertisers that I see doing it the best, those are the advertisers that are growing the fastest, the most profitably, the most sustainably, because they're taking advantage of AI, but they're also using their brilliant creative minds within their own teams to find opportunities to drive further efficiencies by maxing out their audience. I don't think a lot of people realize, you're in platform and you see your target audience for a campaign is like 30 million people or whatever. You're not hitting all of those people. You're rarely hitting all of those people. In fact, often you're hitting a lot of the same people over and over again because you're not diversifying your creative. So there's a lot of opportunity to expand even within the target demographic that you have elicited by just developing more creative and hitting, again, multiple value props, multiple types of people. It's good from a growth perspective, but it's also really just good from a efficiencies perspective. It's table stakes to actually just perform well nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's so well put. And one of the things that I look at all the time is CPMs and frequency and efficiency. And often I'll see CPMs rise and frequency rise, and maybe my results get better, but it means I'm hitting the same people over and over again. Like I'm kind of retargeting. I'm sort of in that mid or bottom funnel experience. And if I want to grow the business, it's one thing to make my CPA better. It's another thing to grow the amount of people that I'm actually selling and reaching. And one of the things that I think is really important, or at least the way that I look at this, and I'd love to know your opinion on it, I think that, every ad effectively kind of makes its own lookalike audience. This ad is designed to go after my mom. This ad is designed to go after you. This ad is designed to go after me. And I think the best ad accounts have this very complementary sort of Venn diagram of all of those audiences. And I think if your Venn diagram is just a circle, it's going to be pretty hard for you to successfully grow and scale your business nearly in the same way as if you have some overlap, but you're also able to reach new and different people. And if you're not reaching new people, your ads are also going to fatigue a little bit. And Meta's going to have a harder time showing people the right content on Instagram versus Facebook platforms. You're just hitting them with the same messaging over and over again is not nearly as exciting. I'm never going to really be able to grow the business. And having this complementary approach of different ways of talking to different people allows me to not only scale efficiency by getting, better ROAS, better CPA, but also scale my volume by bringing in new people to the business. And I think that's what Meta does better than anything else, is reach more good people to help us scale the business. And when you look at that's the role of this platform, you're going to be able to look at your bank account with a smile on your face. And I'd love to know what you think about this, but I think if Meta is the potentially strongest AI and machine learning platform for getting people to be interested in our business, then for us to empower it to make better decisions on our behalf is a cheat code we should all be leaning into.
100%.
Right on. Love it. Okay, so I think this is really valuable stuff, but let's get into a couple of action items because it's one thing to talk theory, but what are some things that people can do right now to get those ads and to focus on their ad account? What can I do today to create that creative diversity?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to make it clear that this isn't something that requires a perfect infrastructure or a huge creative team to do. I think that's a common misconception. It really just requires a team that's data driven, that's willing to iterate off insights, and that can adopt a test and learn mindset. And that's got to be like an evergreen test and learn mindset. This is a forever iterative thing. You're never going to win. You're never going to figure it out. You're always going to be constantly testing and learning. And that's kind of what's so fun about it. But you don't need a huge team to do that. You don't need a bunch of creative resources. You just have to be true to the data, believe the data. It can be hard because we spend so much time and investment into making some really beautiful creative assets, and sometimes they don't perform the best, and that's a bummer. But it's important to iterate off of what's true and what we know to be true through the data, and be okay with some assets not being the most beautiful things in the world. They don't have to be perfect. As long as they're working, they're okay. So that's number one. Don't be too precious, and you can do this. Anyone can do this. You don't need a huge team. But when it comes to just like really quick things that people can do tomorrow, low-hanging fruit opportunities, there's a bunch. I would say one, look at the Advantage Plus suite of products. I'm talking like Advantage Plus Creative, Advantage Plus Catalog ads. Those are two really easy, kind of turnkey ways to improve creative differentiation really, really quickly. I would also just look at, your existing owned content. What do you have in your organic feed? What are people tagging you with? What are assets that already exist out there that you can recut, reform, add hooks, add text overlays, and create different value props for different people with the stuff that you already have? And then another thing that I would think about as more of a strategic approach long term is think of your target customer and break that out into 3 individual personas, be that me, my mom, and someone else or whoever. But 3 unique personas that are motivated differently, have different likes and dislikes, different interests. Maybe they're located in different areas, but get yourself in their shoes and think about what motivates them to buy. And that's going to help you build these hooks, these text overlays, these narratives a lot better once you kind of know that customer almost personally.
Yeah, I love that. It's having ideal customer avatars is a really healthy practice, and something that I always like to suggest people do is, I love what you said about the tagging. What have I been tagged on Instagram? It's so easy to either repurpose or appropriate that content. And it's also great to know how people are talking about you. I think speaking to your customer in the way that they speak about your product is a great way to get other people who look and sound and behave like them. And one of my other favorite things to do is take the product images off the website. And if I have high performing static images and high performing ad headlines, it's easy to take those best headlines, throw them on static images, and knock out a whole other suite of creative that I could throw into, again, the Advantage Plus suite or flexible ads, and really give the machine the opportunity of making the best assets to get the best person at the best time, to get them to not only have a great experience on the Meta platforms, but also me have a good experience as an advertiser selling products to the right people. And the last thing that I'll get to is also communities. If you have an email group, or you can post on your Instagram stories and get feedback, or a Facebook group, I think it's great to ask your customers, tell us about what you love. What's your favorite product? What would you like to see next? I think that's a gold mine that far too many people don't leverage, and it's really easy. And if you do it right, I think getting dozens of pieces of content in the next 72 hours is something anybody could really do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think people often underestimate the opportunity for community, for listening to your customers, for, again, that sort of human interaction with your customers. So read your comments. Some of the best assets I see are just comment response ads where maybe a CEO or a founder comes in and responds to comments from customers. And also, I always say this to my clients, but there's a treasure trove in your post-purchase survey. Don't just ask people where they heard about you and use it for attribution. Ask people why they bought from you, who they bought for, what motivated them to buy. Those are all really helpful data points to build future creative.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I love it.
So I would say the 3 things to take away from this is 1, creative diversity is not a nice to have. It's table stakes. It's essential. It is a part of strategy that absolutely every single person should be using if they're going to scale and perform well on Meta. So prioritize this 100%. 2, embrace a test and learn mindset. Remember that not all the most beautiful ads are going to win, and it's okay for all types of ads to perform well, but use the data, root yourself in insights, and make decisions based off of true testing formats. And then finally, this doesn't require a huge team. This doesn't require an overhaul of your creative strategy. This is just iterating on what you already have. You can make a lot of legway with this strategy by just taking the creative and the assets and the concepts that you already have and iterating on them so they appeal to more people.
Well, there you have it. Shiv is a rock star, right? I love how she was able to take something super technical and make it really easy to understand. And we hope that you walked away with an action plan of what steps you can take next. Now, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section down below. Creative diversity is the unlock cheat code that could easily help you scale your account and your business with confidence. With that being said, until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye.